children. Once again, today our topic of learning is psychotherapy or therapeutic approaches from our class 12, chapter 5. Let's understand, psychotherapy is a voluntary relationship between the client and the therapist, as you are all aware. How the psychotherapy is as a concept of learning is affecting the CBSE class 12 exam. Today we will try to understand full of competency based questions from this chapter 5, therapeutic approaches, mainly the psychotherapy. So I have made certain questions for you people for your understanding. First is assertion reason, then MCQs, then case based questions. So let's understand. First is from the behavior therapy. Assertion. Behavior therapy focuses on modifying maladaptive behaviors through learning principles. Yes. Assertion is true here clearly, because behavior therapy is actually the outcome of learning theories. Now the reason. It believes that behavior is learned and can be unlearned using techniques like reinforcement and conditioning. Yes, reason also true. You know, in the Pavlov's classical conditioning, you learnt in class 11. There are two laws: law of extinction, law of spontaneous recovery. Both the two actually talks about learning, unlearning and relearning. So it is very clearly saying that it believes that behavior is learned and can be unlearned. Whatever you learn, that can be unlearned. Whatever is unlearned, that can be relearned. You see here, through the reinforcement. So both are true, and R is the correct explanation. So answer is here A. Now let's make a move to cognitive therapy. Albert Ellis. You know, Albert Ellis therapy is known as rational emotive behavior therapy, REBT. So first assertion, rational emotive behavior therapy aims to change irrational beliefs which cause emotional distress. Yes, rational emotive therapy, if you are taking here, this is a very important point for us actually. The REBT is mainly focusing on replacing the irrational thoughts with the rational ones. The aim of the therapy it is. The main aim is replacement of irrational thoughts or the beliefs with the rational ones. So assertion is true. Let's go to the reason. According to Ellis, events themselves cause distress, not our interpretation of them. See, if you see here, it is reason is false. Events are not causing the distress. How we interpret the events actually, you see here it is. How you perceive the events, how you give the meaning, or how you interpret them is the main source. So reason is false here. So assertion is true, R is false is the right answer. Need to be very careful, my children. In assertion reason, both the two are right. Then you have to go to the third step evaluation. First is step 1. Step 1 is to evaluate the assertion. Then go to step 2. Evaluate the assertion is true or false, find out. Step 3, find the relation between both the two. The most important point for us here it is. So the third one, cognitive therapy from Aaron Beck. This is actually known as cognitive therapy for depression. So Beck's cognitive therapy focuses on identifying and correcting distorted thoughts and patterns. Assertion, you see, it is true. Distorted thinking and thought patterns. Reason, Beck suggested that automatic negative thoughts contributes to emotional problems like depression. Yes. You know, for your understanding, Aaron Beck's therapy, the aim of this therapy is to replace this automatic negative thoughts with the positive empowering thoughts. Both the two statements are very clear here, true. So I can say here both are true and there is a relation, you see. So R is explaining the A. So this is option A for us here. I removed the options actually because to reduce the page length. Now let's go to the Gestalt therapy. Gestalt therapy encourages the clients to focus on here and now. Yes, the present is very important actually. According to Gestalt therapy, the present is important in your textbook. Here and now is actually the present here. Our focus is not on the past, and we are not dwelling into the past mistakes, and we are not worrying about the future. So the client have to focus on the present. So assertion is true. Reason, it helps individuals integrate fragmented parts of their personality into a unified whole. Yes. Gestalt is actually a complete human being, unified whole here for us. So the Gestalt therapy, if you take here, both A and R are clear, we can say. Both are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Look into this area of the Gestalt therapy. It's a very beautiful therapy. All the psychotherapies are individualistic. Means we are going to focus on one client. But Gestalt therapy advantage is, at the same time you can do for multiple clients. Now the next point, client-centered therapy. Assertion here. Client-centered therapy is actually the contribution of Carl Rogers. In client-centered therapy, the therapist is directive and provides advice to the client here for us. Reason, Rogers believed that the therapist should be an authority figure in the counseling process. Look into this area. The therapist is directive. I am sorry to say, therapist is non-directive. So assertion is clearly wrong here. In client-centered therapy, the therapist is going to use the non-directive methods. Therapist will not solve your problem. Therapist will guide you. Therapist will motivate you to find the solution to the problem. So here the given assertion is false, and given reason is false, because authority figure, no. Therapist is not at all authoritative. Authoritative one is in psychodynamic therapy. So the question number 5, option D, both A and R are false. Now let's make a move to logotherapy. Logotherapy proposed by Viktor Frankl. Logos is a Greek word which means soul. You learn logotherapy. You learn the logotherapy, in detail. So Viktor Frankl, actually the person who proposed logotherapy. Frankl suffered in the Nazi camp. From the suffering he escapes. He escapes and he started thinking how he escaped and all those memories he recollected, and he proposed. He was a psychiatrist, a neurologist, but he was taken by the Nazis into custody, and he was sent to this, the Holocaust of the gas chambers. From there he escapes. So you see here, logotherapy focuses on finding the meaning in life even under suffering. 100% right. The logotherapy, the main focus here is what exactly, if you see, finding the meaning even in life threatening circumstances. Now the reason. Frankl believed that lack of meaning leads to an existential vacuum and psychological distress. Yes. Lack of finding the meaning. When you are not able to find the meaning in your life, that time it is leading to the psychological distress. This is the logotherapy. So look into this area. Frankl believed that finding the meaning is the most important. Meaning making, actually. Every one of us, from the time of birth to till today, we have the freedom to give the meaning to our life. Humanistic therapy. Humanistic therapy emphasizes personal growth and self-actualization. Yes, Abraham Maslow. Abraham Maslow's humanistic therapy, the main aim of the humanistic therapy is to provide personal growth and self-actualization. A is true. Now the reason. It views human beings as inherently driven by unconscious conflicts. No, never. Unconscious, the term is used by Sigmund Freud, not Maslow. So reason is false. A is true and R is false. Human beings are inherently driven by self-actualization. If you want to correct this reason, human beings are motivated or driven by, you see here the best thing, human beings are motivated by the self-actualization, free expression of emotions. Now the MCQ. Let's go to the part B, MCQ. A student fears public speaking. The therapist uses gradual exposure by first asking him to speak before a small group, then a larger audience. So it is called desensitization technique. It is the desensitization. Systematic desensitization is a technique of Joseph Wolf. You see here for phobias. You can look into this. We have the in vivo, in vitro. This current one is related to in vivo. You look into this area. Now, rational emotive behavior therapy, REBT, Albert Ellis. What is exactly ABC stands for? A for antecedent events, B for irrational beliefs, C for consequences. Antecedent events are those events which are actually happening in our life. Beliefs are irrational belief. Against our belief, antecedent event is happening and it is leading to a consequent here, you see. So action, we can say here, action also a right word. Actual right term is antecedent events as per your syllabus. B for irrational beliefs, C for consequences. Consequent is depression. For example, what is a belief? If you have a belief everybody must love you, all of a sudden there is a breakup in your life. That breakup is a antecedent event. Why? Means it's against your belief. It's against your belief. So automatically it makes you to feel the pain. Aaron Beck's cognitive distortion, you see here, a depressed person, it's a totally higher order thinking, my children, out of your textbook actually. A depressed person thinks, if I make one mistake, I am a total failure. You see here, one mistake, you are thinking that you are a total failure. This thought represents dichotomous thinking actually. We can say, if I make one mistake, I am a total failure. This is basically a dichotomous thinking. It's a totally higher level for you people, my children. Dichotomous thinking means, you see here, two sides basically it is. One mistake, you are judging or judging that on the basis of one mistake, you are taking yourself as total failure, you see. Gestalt therapy helps the client, you see here, be aware of your present feelings and actions. What exactly Gestalt therapy aim? Increasing an individual's self-awareness and self-acceptance. So you are going to be aware of your feelings here. Given option, you see, always the options are not like the textbook. Textbook says increasing an individual's self-awareness and self-acceptance. Now here the concept is totally different. Be aware of your present feelings and actions. That is the focus of Gestalt therapy. Client-centered therapy. Which of the following core conditions did Carl Rogers emphasize? Which of the following core conditions did Carl Rogers emphasize here? You see, core conditions actually. Carl Rogers client-centered therapy. Empathy, genuineness, Unconditional positive regard. You see, guys, very interesting fact actually. Empathy is the most valuable term for us. Genuineness and fulfillment in life. And unconditional positive regard, the most beautiful terms actually coined by Carl Rogers. Majority of you know about unconditional regard and empathy, but genuineness you will get it from the chapter 2, where the humanistic approach of personality will come to know. Now, logotherapy, which technique is most consistent with logotherapy, you see? So the most consistent with the logotherapy is finding the meaning through suffering. Finding the meaning actually. Even in dire circumstances, or when a client is facing a big problem, the client is suffering with cancer, imagine, and the doctors told that within 2 or 3 days or 1 week he will leave this world, but still he have 1 week time. What the best he can do? He need to think in such a way to find the meaning. See, dream interpretation is a Sigmund Freud's technique. Free association is again Freudian method. Behavioral rehearsal is behavior therapy. So finding the meaning, the most important word of logotherapy, find the meaning. How can we find the meaning? Do you know? The day when you feel the responsibility. You feel the responsibility, automatically you will find the meaning. Humanistic therapy, humanistic approaches differ from psychoanalysis because they emphasize here self-awareness and free will. Yes. By birth, human beings are free. Totally they are free. They are free birds actually. Humanistic therapy says, how humanistic therapy is totally different from psychoanalysis, you see. The main area is self-awareness and free will of the people. Now, I have an integrated application. This is actually I created for you for your better understanding. A therapist helps a client to identify automatic negative thoughts and replace them with rational ones. Yes, this is automatic negative thoughts. We are going to identify and replace in Aaron Beck's cognitive therapy. So I am clearly giving to you, it's a part of cognitive therapy. But please try to understand. You have 2 modules of cognitive therapy. One is from Albert Ellis and the second one from Aaron Beck. It's a purely Aaron Beck's cognitive therapy. Now let's go to the case study based questions. The case study based questions are there for us. Let us understand what exactly the case study is. And I kept it 3 questions for you for your understanding purpose, like MCQ platform, but you can make it as CBSE says 1 mark question, 1 MCQ won't be there, 1 mark question and 2 mark. Ravi, a 16-year-old, has an intense fear of dogs. He avoids going out of his house when he hears dogs barking nearby. His therapist designs a program where Ravi first looks at picture of dogs, then watches videos and finally spends time near a calm dog while practicing relaxation. Which is the behavioral technique used here in this context, you see. It is basically desensitization. For example, I want to convert the same question into 2 mark. I will say explain the technique. So you have to use the word. Now, what is the main learning principle behind this therapy? Classical conditioning from class 11. The main learning principle behind this systematic desensitization is classical conditioning. And who was the psychologist who designed desensitization? Your textbook is having Olp. His actual name is Joseph Olp. So 1 mark and 2 mark question in each case study. I made just a simple 3 lines, my children. Nearly you will get a case study of 150 words. Okay, this is a very simple one I kept for you people. I reduce the content because it will take a lot of time for me to read and inform you. Now, case study 2. Meera believes if my friends don't agree with me, it means they hate me. Her therapist helps her identify these irrational thoughts and replace them with the more rational beliefs, such as people can disagree and still care for me. So this is the Albert Ellis case, beta. Which therapy is being applied here? I'm just showing here as a separate heading to you. CBSE examination time, you will not have this kind of things. Which therapy is Albert Ellis cognitive therapy? In Ellis ABC model, what do A, B and C stand for? A for antecedent event or activating event. You can use better antecedent event is better for you. I gave this activating event also. Sometimes in higher books you have actions, activating events. B for irrational beliefs. C for consequences. The irrational belief in this case represents which part of the model? The irrational beliefs are, it's part of the belief only. You see, here it is. What is the belief? If my friends, if you don't agree with me, you hate me. It means you hate me, you see. This is the problem here. Now, let's go to the Aaron Beck's cognitive therapy. We have the Aaron Beck's cognitive therapy. It's a important one. Arjun constantly tells himself, I failed this test, I will never succeed in life. See, automatic negative thoughts. Dichotomous thinking actually it is, you see. The therapist helps him recognize this as an automatic negative thought and challenges it with evidence of his past success. Yes. In the past also you failed, or you failed, you got low mark, but you passed. Why you take it like this way? You have to motivate. Which cognitive distortion is Arjun displays here? Overgeneralization, or you can use the word overgeneralization. It is a dichotomous thinking. What is the goal of Beck's therapy? Replace the irrational thoughts with the rational one. Replacing automatic negative thoughts with the positive empowering thoughts. Don't forget, out of textbook, PET. Automatic negative thought, ANT, ant. We are trying to remove the ants and we are trying to replace the ants with the pets here. Which type of psychological disorder in this approach most effective? It's a depression. So you see the depression basically. Now, case study 4, Gestalt therapy. Priya often talks about how her parents hurt her years ago. Her therapist asks her to focus on how she feels right now while talking, and even to speak to an empty chair. See, empty chair is actually a technique used in Gestalt therapy. It's out of your syllabus, beta. Empty chair is one of the famous technique in Gestalt therapy. If her parents were present, expressing her current emotions fully. Now, let's have a look into this area, my children. So you can understand here, what is the main focus of Gestalt therapy? Yes, present, awareness of here and now, increasing self-awareness, self-acceptance. Identify the technique. The empty chair is actually a technique. Actually, in an empty chair, you feel your parent is here and you will try to talk. Now, it helps the client integrate unresolved feelings and become more self-aware. Yes. Through this technique, what we are going to do, we motivate the client to come out of the fantasies and daydreams and face the reality. Now, the case study 5. The client-centered therapy. Neha feels she can never live up to her parents' expectations. Her therapist listens empathetically, accepts the feelings without judgment, and encourages her to explore her true desires and strengths instead of giving advice. Look into this very interesting case. It is actually, you can see here, Neha's case. Now, you see how the change is going to happen here. You see, this case you see. What is the therapist's approach called? Client-centered approach. See, we are using the unconditional regard, without judgment. This word is indicating unconditional regard. You see, These are the short phrases, my children, for you people. Empathetically listening. So having empathy, you see. And encourages her to explore her true desire. Genuineness is there, you see. Mention 2 core conditions of this therapy. Empathy, genuineness, and unconditional positive regard. These are the 2 core conditions. The third one, because the therapist does not give direct advice to interpretations, the client leads the process. You see here why the therapy is non-directive, because therapist is not advising you, therapist is not going to solve your problem. You are going to find the solution to your problem. That's the reason we are saying it one. Now the next one, 6th case on logotherapy. So this logotherapy we will see, my children. What exactly you see here? After losing a job, Ramesh feels that his life is meaningless. The therapist helps him discover a sense of purpose by engaging in community service, showing him that even suffering can have meaning if one chooses the right attitude. Now, questions. What is the main focus of logotherapy? Finding the meaning even in dire circumstances. Finding the meaning is the most important. Which concept explains Ramesh's feelings of emptiness, existential vacuum, survival? Existence is threatened here. How can I survive? How can I live my life? What outcome does Frankl aim for through this therapy? Helping clients discover purpose and inner freedom. That's most important for us. See these 3 questions I kept. Any 2 CBSE paper will have the same kind of case study with 150 words, like they will create. Ram is working in a multinational company from this year, he was doing this many jobs, like they will go. For a short video, I want to make it for you people for entire chapter within 30 minutes, so I reduce the case content better. My children, please look into this. The last one, humanistic therapy. Sana says she feels lost and unfulfilled despite having material success. Her therapist encourages her to explore her feelings, values, and choices to help her move towards self-actualization. What is the underlying assumption of humanistic therapy? Human beings are by birth kind, cooperative, friendly, caring, nurturing. You can just write it: inherently good and strive for personal growth and self-actualization. Now, who are the 2 main pillars of humanistic approach? Abraham Maslow, father of humanism in psychology. His close collaborator is Carl Rogers. Carl Rogers is not known as father of humanism. Abraham Maslow. Maslow and Rogers both together actually contributed. What is self-actualization? Realizing one's full potential and authentic self. Self-actualization is an innate need to grow emotionally and contribute something to the welfare of the society. It is. You know, self-actualization comes when you are able to express your emotions freely. Self-actualization is the ultimate goal of human life. Maslow did the comparison of self-actualization, how the food and water are important. Like the same way, self-actualization is very important for us. I hope everything is very clear to you people, my children. I reduce the content of the case study to a 2-line, actually 100 word, 120 word case study you will get in the CBSE exam. Per case you will get 2 questions. This is just a sample for you, a tidbit for you to motivate and guide you. Have a look into this. It will be really helpful to you. Please put one thumb, means one like, and just share with other students. Thank you for watching. Stay connected with us, my children. God bless you all. For more updates, most probably within a couple of days we'll upload the chapter 6 and chapter 7 also.